what are you laughing at?
It's a very good question, right? I don't understand. Oh wait, that is not 5 facts. How suddenly where the 5 facts come from?
Oh, 5 to really slander.
What else of 5?
Okay, are we done? Okay?
I got the wrong answer.
So what's the difference between group and ungroup? Okay, so actually earlier on, when we look at mean, okay, we also have group and ungroup. Group refers to when your information is given to you in intervals like that. Okay, ungroup means that it is either single data like that, or else it is categorized in this manner, tabulated in this manner. Okay, so that's the difference. This is ungroup. This is group data. Okay. Now, let's look at page 25. Okay, so we have, sorry? Yeah, when there's an interval, it's a group. Okay, so from now on, I want you to be very careful in using the word range. Okay, so don't anything, also range, alright? So now that range has a certain meaning. It is the maximum to the minimum. Okay, you have to be very careful about the use of this word when it comes to explanation. Okay, because very often, I know that you are referring to an interval, but because it's a maths exam and it's statistics related, when you use the word range, it totally differs in the meaning. Okay, likewise, later on if you were to go to JC or Poly, when studying more about functions, there is also a specific meaning to the word range, okay, when it comes to function, domain and range. Okay, but we are not covering that in your syllabus now. Okay. So let's look at example 22. Okay, we are given a stem and leaf diagram and also the mean and standard deviation of team Y. Okay, so for team X, we want to calculate the mean and the standard deviation. So could you actually try out, right, pressing the mean and standard deviation for the stem and leaf diagram? Okay, please note it's 82, 86, 87.
You did a sending. Team Y.
Okay. Press now.
Team Y.
That's so trolling. That is so trolling.
You can consider frequency as well if you want to. So if you want, then this one can be 92, then comma 2.
This one has how many degrees?
Sorry?
How many degrees?
3SF. Yeah, everything 3SF.
Everything.
Up to you whether you're smart enough to think about frequency.
Yes.
Okay? Yes.
I said I like range. What's wrong with you?
Standard deviation.
Sorry?
Standard
Deviation, you could write a symbol like that. It's like a circle and then a stroke, horizontal stroke.
It's like a very classic line.
without neck.
Let's say has a
Okay, your answer for standard deviation, leave it to 3SF.
Now the third like to key everything again.
No, you don't need to key. I mean, you already.
Oh. I didn't key off one answer at all.
Okay, are we done? Let's go through part B. Okay, which team performed better? Okay, anybody can't get a mean and standard deviation? Everyone can get, right? Okay, so part B, which team performed better? So comparing this mean and the standard deviation with this one. Okay, so since we're talking about performance in general, alright, you will just compare the mean, it will do. Okay, so looking at the mean score for team Y, it is higher than that for team X. So therefore, team Y would perform better.
So then when you use standard deviation?
Later on I'll talk about it, okay? So team Y, sorry?
The standard deviation push USN, then the mean you push USN.
This is exact one.
Really?
I think the number is exact.
Not exact.
I think they're exact.
I think they're exact.
It's not exact?
Yeah.
Oh,
409.
we have 3 exact. Not important, right? It's higher. Even if then that's for next.
Exercise Chpt.
I'll do all the homework. Because the homework is really very simple.
Performance is MANC, right? Sorry, I forgot. Okay, so if we were to extend the question, as per what Xiaolu was asking just now, okay, when do we use standard deviation? Okay, when we talk about consistency likewise. Okay, so you realize at this point, okay, standard deviation accompanies mean, and then after interquartile range accompanies median. We are not able to discuss interquartile range based on mean itself. Okay, interquartile range solely relies upon your median. Okay, then after that your standard deviation solely its discussion is solely around its mean. Okay, because the calculation for standard deviation itself requires the mean value. It is talking about how far away it is from the mean value itself. Okay, so if you're talking about which team being more consistent in its performance, right, the smaller the standard deviation, the better. Okay, because if it's a smaller standard deviation, it doesn't deviate too much away from the mean itself. Okay, that's the whole idea, the whole meaning behind the word. Okay, so in this case, if you were to compare the standard deviation, team Y will actually be more consistent. Since it has a smaller standard deviation, then team X.
So for this kind of questions, we can also use the interquartile range, right? Like assuming it's
We
not that
cannot
many.
use team. If team X you find interquartile range, I cannot use median. I cannot use median as interquartile range to compare with mean and standard deviation. Yeah.
So but are they similar?
No, they are not similar. The calculation itself is different already. The way it's being found.
But
Yeah.
the question is like,
Okay, so I cannot use a value of median from one situation and compare it with another team's mean. I cannot do such comparison like that because they are totally different way of finding. So I cannot compare two different values and then after draw a conclusion. So I must use mean to compare with mean, standard deviation to compare with standard deviation. In fact, interquartile range, right, it is actually between your quartile 1 to quartile 3. Okay, when your median is somewhere around here. Okay, it is this entire range itself for interquartile range. Whereas for mean itself, okay, how you want to visualize it is that, so this is your median, right? Whereas for mean, okay, we are talking about the distance. Here is your standard deviation, okay, and then here is your standard deviation. And these two parts over here, they are not necessarily any quartiles at all. So you cannot do any cross comparison. You cannot do that. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, I want you to also very quickly try out page 108 of the textbook. Okay, this data, this table of information over here. Okay, I want you to use your calculator. Which one is the frequency in this case? The number of, sorry, the essay number or the number of errors? The number of errors is the frequency, yeah? Okay, so quickly press the calculator. Tell me what is the standard deviation. No working required for standard deviation. You just write down answer, that will be sufficient. Practice down 9. Sorry. Yeah, practice down 9, page 108.
but they say show your working.
No need. Okay, textbook they will do this kind of things, but in exam we don't need to do that. So I don't need any working at all. Okay, the reason why I also don't need working, alright, is because there are times whereby if I were to insist on working, your working is not correct to your answer. Your answer you press calculator, but your working doesn't tally because you write the wrong frequency. Okay, so I've encountered that before. And also because it is clearly stated out by SCAB, by O-Level Cambridge, it says that no need for working. Okay, calculator answer is enough.
We can show.
Huh?
Later one question they show your working.
Okay, really explicitly say so.
Let's go take like 10 years to write. Step 1. I press on. So I press shift. I press shift 9, 3, I press hold. Everything is 100.
It's a circle and then
I press hold. I press shift down. I press down. I press on. And then I press 1. I press go. I press 2. I press go. Baby.
oh.
You get 1.8.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. This one not the number of frequency, right?
K level.